All right, what's going on, guys? Tony here. So I want to show you how you can use these two documents. They're two PDFs to generate your paper claims. Now, this is definitely not the best way to do it. The gold standard for how you would do this if you want to submit a paper claim is you would go to the Office Ally website, you'd create a free account, you'd create a free PracticeMate account within Office Ally, and you generate your CMS 1500s through the PracticeMate software. But I know some of you guys are just getting started and you're just looking for a quick resource to generate a claim to get it out to the consumer. So I had these forms created for you. Let's go through them. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. There's basically two forms. They look exactly the same. This one, when you go to print it, will print, if you're using a black and white LaserJet, it'll print the red in gray. If you're using a color inkjet, it'll print it in red. But I've got another form here that, like I said, looks exactly the same, but this one will not print all the background. It is designed to print on a pre-printed CMS 1500. So let's go through this one. Let me delete these boxes here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And we'll just hit everything that you're going to need. So you're going to have to indicate that it's a Medicare form. Pretty standard, right? Box number 1. Box number 2, you're going to have the patient. And it says last name, first name, middle initial. So Brady Thomas, J. I don't know if that's really his middle initial. Patient's date of birth, 02/01/1901, 32. You need to indicate sex. You need to come down here, Main Street. What's the patient's relationship to insured? If it's a Medicare, it's going to be self. Let's finish Monroe, Ohio. That's where one of my clinics is located. 513-999-9999. Okay. Right now, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's 4? 4 is over here. Assuming this is going to be the same, I'm going to copy that over. We're assuming that the patient is the insured, which is the most common scenario, and the phone number. Okay, we're going to jump up here. This is going to be the subscriber ID number. So on their Medicare insurance card, this is where you're going to find the member ID, the subscriber ID, and this applies, guys. This isn't just for Medicare. This applies across the board. Commercial payers, out-of-network coverage, whatever it is you're submitting. This is the gold standard for a superbill. So let's just say, you know what? Let me open this up. Sample Medicare card, just so you guys know what it's going to look like. And it's going to look something like this. You'll have the patient's name. You'll have their member ID, Medicare number, subscriber ID, 1EG4. Now, typically, when you're filling this out, you don't put the dashes in. And you typically will use all caps. So 1EG4. And I'm just going to make up the rest of the letters and numbers. Okay. Box number 8 will be left blank. Box number 9, this is going to be the secondary insurance information. Now, if there's a secondary, which we're not going to get into supplemental, Medigap, or secondary, there are some distinctions, but in most cases, it's going to be a supplemental or a Medigap. I've got a video explaining that. That information is going to go in here. When you look on the card, so other insured's name, if it's the same person, you're just going to copy and paste their name. If it's a spouse, you would put the spouse's name. Other insured's policy or group number. So you would get their subscriber ID, member ID off the secondary card. I'm just going to put a number in there. And then plan name. So let's say, for example, United healthcare. Okay, so that takes care of number 9. Number 10, these are all going to be indicated as no. It's not an employment workers' comp situation. It's not an auto accident. It's not an other accident. You don't have to place anything in the state if you indicate no for those. Number 11, insureds, policy, group, FECA number. You don't need any of that information. You do need the insured's date of birth. So we said they were born February 1st, 32. Gender, again, this is just copying over from what we had over here. Insured plan or name of program can remain blank. Is there another benefit? Yes, in most cases there will be another benefit. This is where when you insured or authorized person's signature, patient, number 12, patient or authorized person's signature, we'll deal with that when we print it. Then down here, number 14, leave it blank. Number 15, leave it blank. 16, leave it blank. 17 is required. Now, DN is the qualifier for a referring physician. There's basically 3 options. There's a referring physician, ordering physician, and supervising physician. You are always going to go with referring physician. You're always going to use DN in that box. Here is where you're going to put the name of the physician. So I'm just going to say this is a made-up name, Scott Smith. You are going to find the MPI for Dr. Smith, and that, again, we're just going to make up an MPI. So over here, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23, all these boxes over here are going to remain blank. For the ICD, it's going to be an ICD-10. This is where you're going to enter your ICD-10, ICD-10 codes. You will not enter a period when you're submitting or any of these claims. So M545, low back pain, let's say M542, neck pain. You know, your codes are going to get in there. I'm not going to get into coding. And then down here. So this is where we begin. Today is March 2nd. 03, 02, 20. And it's, you know, this is going to be repeated here. Place of service will be 11 if you're treating the Medicare beneficiary in your office. 12 if you're treating the Medicare beneficiary in the beneficiary's home. Column C remains blank. Your procedure code, since I'm a physical therapist, let's say it was a moderate complexity evaluation. Now for your modifiers. Again, I'm a physical therapist, so I'm going to enter a GP modifier. If this patient had met the financial threshold for the year and I needed to append the KX modifier, the KX would go right next to it. But in this case, we're going to say they haven't. The diagnosis pointer under column E, that is going to correspond to the treatment diagnosis. So in this case, I'm saying we're treating neck and low back pain. So I'm going to give it A and B. There are situations where for an eval line item, you might only have a single diagnosis pointer, but then for subsequent treatment line items, you might have 2 diagnosis pointers. I talk about that in my course. I'm not going to discuss it here, but I just want you to be aware that that's possible. When we come out here to charges, so let's say for this, I'm going to make it a $100 charge. We're going to make it a single unit. Now, as we come out here to column J, this is where the rendering provider MPI is going to go in. So, honestly, I don't know my MPI off the top of my head, so I'm just throwing random digits in there. But this is for the treating therapist. Not the organization, the billing organization, the group MPI. This is for the treating therapist MPI. Then as we come down here, you're going to come into your tax ID number, and I'm going to put EIN. If you have a patient account number, it's going to go in here. Usually what I do for a patient account number, we said Tom Brady. So what I usually do is I go TB, and then I do 2020 March 02. You are going to accept assignment. Let's throw another claim in here. So, whoops. You know, usually you are rendering care on the same date of service. Let's say I'm doing, whoops. This is why I say this is about the worst possible way to submit claims, because it will take you forever. And then let's hit one more. And I realize these don't line up. They don't have to line up exact, but they should line up close enough. Okay, so a new change to the CCI edits. When you're billing manual therapy on the same date of service that you're billing an evaluation, you have to append the 59 modifier. So that's where the 59 modifier would go. I'm going to throw in the AB. I'm going to say $50, single unit. We're going to throw on the rendering therapist MPI. Whoops. Okay. So we've got that. Total charges is going to be $250. 0 paid. Last thing we're going to need. So and this, you know, honestly, this is something that your accounting software will handle. Generally speaking, if I remember correctly, now it's been a long time, when you're submitting a claim and the service facility location matches the billing provider address, you can leave box 32 blank. If you're submitting a claim for services delivered in the home, you can leave box 32 blank. If somebody has updated information on that, let me know. If your billing provider has a different address than the facility location, you would populate both these boxes. So for now, I'm just going to go with 513-420-9999. That is my clinic number. Total Therapy Solutions. And then we're going to come down here. You would think I could type. And then you need the group NPI right down here. It's not a real group NPI, but that would be where the group NPI goes. Now at this point, this claim is done, ready to go. You would still need to sign if you're authorized. So I authorize the release of any medical or other information necessary to process this claim. I also request payment. This essentially gives us the approval to submit the claim on behalf of the patient, authorized person, insured signature, authorized payment of medical benefit to the undersigned physician or supplier, service below. When you get your admission paperwork done, and probably need to look 12 and 13. Let's jump down here real quick. Again, I have to find the instructions on that. That's typically something you check the box on the claim in your electronic medical record. Sorry, I'm speaking so slow. I'm trying to read through this to see if I can find the exact authorization on that. So this is the provider signature. All right, I'll come back in a second video and I'll grab the resources. Here, let me try one more thing here. Okay, let's see what we've got. I hate to give you guys incomplete information. And you know what? attach this. I'll put this in the video description. Oh, here we go. Instructions. Enter signature on file, SOF, or legal signature. If there's no signature on file, leave blank, no signature on file. Okay, so you will always have the signature on file. And number 12, enter signature on file, patient. Okay, so there you go. So signature on file in both of those situations. When legal signature, enter date signed in 6 or 8-digit format. Perfect. So that's the answer we're looking for. All right, guys, just so you can see what this looks like. So if I go to print this, now can you see that preview right there? See how it's printing blank? I'm going to just the current page. I would, in this scenario, put the pre-printed that I ordered through Amazon, and I'll put the link in the video description below for the Amazon CMS 1500 forms. But basically what's going to happen here, I'm going to, let me see if I can drop these in a download folder. All right, so let's make it test. And so here we go. This is what it looks like, because it's going to print on pre-printed forms. If you need the form to print, you're going to complete this one. And then when you go to print this one, you can see how it's going to be there. We're going to do it. If you're going to do red ink, I highly, highly encourage you to just go ahead. There we go. This is what it would print on a plain white piece of paper. You'd have the grayish black background. But if you're going to do the red ink, I would encourage you to just buy the pre-printed forms. But if not, you have a laser color or inkjet. You can give it a shot. I'm not sure quite honestly if it would work or not, but you won't know until you try. All right, guys, that's the best I've got for you. Hopefully these forms help you, but again, I would strongly, strongly encourage you to just go. Let me show you real quick. We're here. Go, and I'll put these links in the description also. Go to Office Ally. Once you get here, you're going to go to Resource Center. You're going to go to Office Ally Forms and Manuals. You're going to complete the authorization sheet, the BAA, and the Practice Mate User Agreement. That's it. 3 forms. You're done. They're super quick and easy. Couple signatures. Everything is 100% free. Now, if you use Practice Mate and Office Ally to submit claims electronically, Office Ally is going to charge you $35 a month per rendering provider. But you absolutely can use Practice Mate to do all the patient accounting, print the CMS 1500s, and then mail them in until you have enough caseload to justify paying the $35 a month. It's not an EMR. It's a clearinghouse and or an accounting software. So guys, keep that in mind. Let me know if you have any other questions. I appreciate you watching the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot.